Thank you for joining. So, I just wanted to talk about sometimes people, mainly women, say that they do so much for everybody and no one ever does anything for them. That it's just them doing everything and nobody ever appreciates and values themselves. I have a series called Soft Life with Samara, and what I like to talk about is all things soft life, biblical femininity, love, and just girl chat. And when I see somebody who's saying that they have everything that they do is never valued, but they have the time to do everything for everyone else and that no one ever values them, I just think three things are missing. The first thing is they're not praying enough to ask God if I even should be doing what I'm being requested to do. The second thing is that they don't set boundaries, and if they do have boundaries, they're weak. And the third thing is that they don't keep promises to themselves. So, like, for instance, before I let somebody ask me something, and before I say yes, somebody asking me to do a favor, I just simply first will make sure that I'm prioritizing what I have to do. Because if you ever remember saying yes to someone, if they needed you to run an errand for them, if they needed you to maybe pick up their child, if they needed you to babysit, if they needed you to do anything, if you ever rushed over there, you likely forgot to do something for yourself. And that was because you allowed what they had going on to be more important than what you needed to do for yourself. And in doing that, you basically are not keeping promises to yourself. And then you go over there and you're mad and you're bitter because you rushed over there to be there for someone who you don't feel is ever there for you. So before you do anything for anyone, and before you find yourself stuck in that same cycle of saying that no one's ever there for you and that no one ever appreciates or values what you do for them, or that you're the one that's always extending and overextending yourself but nobody's ever supporting you in the same way, before you do that, make sure you do those three things. First, pray and ask God, should I even be doing this and extending this person help? Two is to set and enforce boundaries. That looks like telling them, if you ask me to do something at the last minute, unless it's an emergency, then I'm less likely to be available for it. That way, they make the decision. It's not a rule. A rule is telling someone, don't touch me, don't talk to me like that, don't call me after 9 o'clock. That's you trying to boss someone around. But people don't take kindly to threats, and they don't take kindly to you bossing them around and telling them what to do. But if instead you set the boundary and you just tell them, hey, I know I can't control you, but if you do these things, this is how I'm going to respond. The next thing is to always keep promises to yourself. If someone ever asked you to do something, but you knew or planned your day accordingly, and you knew you had to do something, or you wanted to really take yourself out and do something nice for yourself, instead of rushing over there to do something for them, first, take care of yourself first. Do whatever it was that you promised yourself. And then after that, then you go and do the that they requested of you. This keeps you from going over there bitter and going over there with the bad attitude, because you're not thinking like, oh my gosh, they want something from me. They always ask me to do things and I didn't even get to do anything for myself. You're not storming over there angrily because you have to now help them out, but you didn't even first help yourself. So yeah, if you ever find yourself saying over and over again, I'm always there for everyone. No one ever does anything for me. I'm always the one that has to pick up all the slack, and no one's carrying their weight around, either in this house, this relationship, this family, and you're just frustrated and angry. If you always find yourself being that person that feels like I do everything for everyone and nobody's ever there for me, nobody cares, nobody checks on me, unless they need something, I don't hear from them. If you're constantly the one to say that or even to feel and think that, then make sure you do those three things. The first thing I told you was to pray and ask God if you should even be helping this person at this time. The second thing I said to do was to set and enforce boundaries. So if you did tell somebody, hey, if you asked me to maybe pick your child up from someplace before 9 o'clock or after 9 o'clock, if you ask me after 9, then I'm not going to be able to do it. But then the next week they ask you and you forget and you're just so in a rush and you're so busy and you say yes. That's the problem. You're the problem now because you're not enforcing your own boundary. So that's the second thing. Enforce your boundaries. And the third thing is to keep your promises to yourself. If you kept your promises to yourself, you wouldn't feel like you were dragging yourself to do things for other people when they never do anything for you. I did that wrong. If you kept your promises to yourself, you wouldn't feel like you were the one always having to overextend yourself and nobody ever cared. You wouldn't be frustrated because you would have communicated to other people what you have going on. I'm gonna do that right. Hold on. The back is harder to do. Hold on. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live. I was just having a little chit chat. Like the live when you join and let me know where you're watching from. But I was just having a little chit chat, just really getting to the point that if you feel like you're the one that's always overextending yourself and that no one ever values you, no one's ever checking on you, but when they need you, they know how to find you, and you're always the one that's giving to everyone else and there for everyone, and you never feel like you have time for yourself, then it's because you're not doing these three things. The first thing you're not doing is you're not even talking to God about it. You're not even asking him where you need to be at that right time. The second thing is you're not setting and enforcing your boundaries. If you had boundaries and then you enforce them, then people are less inclined to play with you. It's not because they are now developing some level of respect for you, because respect doesn't just come, but it's because they see that now you're letting them know, hey, if you do this behavior, then this is how I'm going to respond. And it allows them to choose, okay, either I can ask her to do something at the last minute, or I could not, because she says she's not going to be available. Then the last thing you need to make sure you're doing is keep your promises to yourself. most of the time when you do end up going and helping someone do something, you're bitter, you're angry, you're huffing and puffing, and I had something to do, I had other plans, I didn't even need to be here. You're complaining. And when you go over there complaining, it's because you didn't keep your promises to yourself. So instead of making sure that maybe you did your nails that day, your hair, maybe you needed to go to the doctor, whatever it was that you had to do for yourself, instead of doing that, you dropped everything and you rushed over to be there for someone. And I'm not telling you not to be there for the people that you love, but I am saying to make sure that you do what you have to do, unless it's a family emergency and you have to be there at that exact moment that they call you. But if it's not an emergency, then you have time to take care of yourself, do whatever it is that you need to do, and then go help that person. But if you keep breaking your promises to yourself, you're going to be perpetually bitter and perpetually complaining because nothing's ever going right. You're always there for everyone else, but you can't even get anything accomplished for yourself. Maybe you wanted to write a book. Maybe you wanted to take social media seriously. Maybe you wanted to try different styles. Maybe you wanted to do your makeup or wake up a little earlier and work out. Whatever it was that you actually wanted to prioritize about your life and about your schedule, you are not doing that if you're just rushing to be there for everyone else first. Make sure that if you make a promise to yourself, you keep it, because then you'll be less bitter, and you complain less because you'll know, oh, I can do what I have to do and help other people. Most of the time when we try to go help other people, we stop doing the things we need to do for ourselves. And then we're Mr. Reliable and Miss Reliable, but we don't have things going on for ourselves the way that we would like them to be. And it's not necessarily because you were helping someone else, it's because you didn't have anything organized. You didn't have a schedule, and you weren't on top of your own objectives or goals. But if you feel like you're always there for everybody and nobody's ever there for you, nobody ever appreciates you, then it's likely because you're not doing those three things. If you like this live, make sure you double tap the screen. Make sure you like the live, share it out. If you want to talk to me about something, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And just say hi. I see there's one person on, but I don't know who that is. But thank you. Thank you for watching the live. Thank you for joining me from a little chit chat. I think I'm done, but this one piece in the front is a little bit straight. So I'm going to do it again. Oh, I was supposed to do it the other way. I think I need to do it the other way. See, the thing about this is there's a button with an arrow, and it can help you determine which way you want the curl to go. So I actually want the curl to go the other way, away from my face. But it does save a lot of time and effort, because now I don't have to constantly keep flipping the iron back and forth, because it already does it for you. You just have to press the button the right way. But then this one doesn't have a place to go. Let's do that. Let's curl that within the bunch of hair. Much better. If you're still watching the live, let me know where you're watching from, and like the live. Double tap the screen to like the live so that it can get pushed out to more people. That's good. I want it to be higher up so that it's not flat and then curled. Like that it's actually curled at the top. Let's see, if I put it up here, all the way up here. That's good. All right,